Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about love and heartbreak.
Ah, the age-old themes,
Yeah.
but with a bit of a modern twist. Right.
Exactly. We're specifically looking at how these things play out in the digital age.
Makes sense with everything being online these days.
Right. And for this deep dive, we've got a whole collection of song lyrics that were all released this year.
Oh, interesting. Sort of a soundtrack to modern romance.
Yeah, pretty much. And they touch on everything from online dating to like ghosting and those kind of anxieties.
I bet there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing that really jumps out is how much these lyrics talk about digital communication, like all the ways we connect and disconnect online.
I can see that. It's like a whole new language of love.
Totally. And sometimes it feels like a language we're all still struggling to learn.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
And like, take the whole left on read thing. We see that a lot in these songs, right?
Ugh, yeah. The ultimate digital diss.
Right. And there are a few songs that really capture that feeling, like Seen, but not replied, or 404, Love Not Found.
Ooh, those titles say it all, don't they?
For real. And then there's a Text Me Tonight, which is all about like the agony of waiting for a reply.
Yeah, that anticipation can be brutal.
Tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder, is all this hyperconnectivity actually making us more sensitive to rejection?
That's such a good question. Like, are we just amplifying insecurities that were always there?
Exactly. Or is there something about being left on read that just hits different?
I think there is, because it's not just silence. It's like, you've been seen and dismissed,
Yeah, it's like, I know you saw my message.
and you chose not to answer.
Ouch. It's almost like ghosting has become a modern day rejection ritual.
Kind of, yeah. Like a digital brush off.
Okay, but think about this. Is it possible that we're more vulnerable now because we're constantly bombarded with images of perfect relationships online?
That's a really interesting thought.
Right. Like you scroll through Instagram and everyone's love life looks like a rom-com montage.
Totally. And it's easy to start comparing your own messy, complicated love life to these curated highlight reels.
Oh, I've definitely been there. And it can really mess with your head.
Absolutely. It can really skew your perceptions of what's normal and what's attainable.
Like you start to think, why doesn't my relationship look like that?
Right. And it's not just social media either. Dating apps play a big role in this too.
Totally. Speaking of which, there are a couple of songs that really dig into the whole love and algorithms thing.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, there's one called Algorithm of Us, which is basically about how algorithms are influencing who we meet and who we fall for.
Wow, that's kind of a mind-blowing concept when you really think about it.
It is, right. And then there's Double Tap for Love, which
God.
touches on the idea of like scripted crushes and how algorithms might be dictating our dating destinies.
Whoa, that's heavy. It's like our love lives are becoming gamified.
Right. And it raises some serious questions about free will and choice in love. Like, are we really in control or are we just puppets of the algorithm?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. These algorithms, they're designed to keep us swiping and subscribing.
It's almost like we're outsourcing our love lives to technology, which, can be convenient, but also kind of scary.
Right. It's like we're letting a digital matchmaker decide who we should be with.
Exactly. And you have to wonder, what happens to spontaneity and serendipity in a world where every connection is pre-filtered and optimized?
That's a really good point. Do we miss out on those chance encounters, those unexpected connections that can sometimes lead to the most meaningful relationships?
I don't know. It makes you think, right?
For sure. It's definitely a balancing act. We have to be mindful of how we're using these apps, and remember, they're just tools.
Tools that can be helpful, but also potentially limiting.
Exactly. But, even with all these algorithms and dating apps, these songs also reveal a deep longing for something more.
Like a yearning for authentic connection.
Exactly. A connection that goes beyond the superficial.
You see that in songs like Fading Lights and Fading Love, right?
Oh, yeah. Those songs definitely tap into that feeling of wanting something real, something that lasts.
It's like everyone's searching for a love that transcends the pixels and emojis, a love that feels tangible.
Yeah, a love that you can actually hold on to.
Exactly. And that can be hard to find in a world where everything feels so fleeting and ephemeral.
So true. Especially in the digital age where connections can disappear as quickly as they appear.
It's like we're all chasing after these fleeting moments, hoping to find something that endures.
And sometimes it feels like we're losing sight of what really matters.
The human connection, the heart of it all.
Exactly.
It's kind of like we're all searching for that genuine connection.
Right. But it's not always sunshine and roses out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, some of these songs get pretty real about the potential downsides of technology.
Oh, definitely. The heartbreak, the manipulation,
Yeah, and like the whole feeling of being used or played.
especially in the online dating world.
Exactly. Like that one song, It Was Not a Game for Me.
Oh, yeah, that one's intense.
Right. You can just feel the singer's anger and hurt.
It's like they're speaking for anyone who's ever been strung along or treated like an option.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And it really highlights how easy it is to hide behind a screen.
Oh, totally. You create these perfect profiles, these curated personas.
And you never really know who's on the other side.
Until it's too late sometimes.
Right. Which is why it's so important to be cautious.
Yeah. Trust your gut. Look out for those red flags.
Exactly. If something feels off, it probably is.
Okay. But even when it's not a game, even when the love is real.
Heartbreak can still happen.
So true love hurts. Just hits different, you know?
It's a classic for a reason,
It reminds us that love is always a risk.
whether it's online or offline.
Yeah. And technology might change how we connect.
But it doesn't change those core human emotions.
The pain, the joy, it's all still there.
Speaking of joy, some of these songs are actually really upbeat.
Oh, yeah. Like what? Like, Text Me Tonight. It's so catchy.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
It's all about that new crush feeling.
The anticipation, waiting for that first text.
It's so sweet. Like a modern day love letter.
It reminds us that technology can bring people together, too.
Totally. It can create opportunities for connection that wouldn't exist otherwise.
Like long-distance relationships or even just reconnecting with old friends.
It's not all bad. We just have to find that balance.
Right. Embrace the possibilities, but don't lose sight of real connection.
Exactly. Technology should enhance our lives, not define them.
So true. And I'm struck by how many of these songs express this longing for something deeper.
Like something more than just fleeting digital interactions.
Exactly. Fading lights, fading love. They all tap into that feeling.
Yeah. The desire for a love that endures.
Something that goes beyond the pixels and emojis.
The love that feels real and tangible.
In a world that's increasingly virtual.
And I think that search for authenticity is something we all share.
Whether we're swiping through dating apps or scrolling through social media, we're all looking for that connection.
That feeling of belonging, of being seen and understood.
And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Even with all the anxieties and complexities, these songs also offer a glimmer of hope.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It's like they're saying, yeah, love is messy, and technology makes it even messier.
But we're figuring it out. We're still finding ways to connect.
There's a sense of resilience there,
A determination to navigate the challenges.
without losing sight of the human need for connection.
And it's not just romantic love either.
Right. Technology is impacting all our relationships.
Friendships, family, even our sense of community.
It's like the whole landscape is changing,
And we're all trying to adapt.
which is why these conversations are so important.
We need to explore these changes, figure out how to use technology in a way that benefits us.
Not isolates us.
Totally agree. And another thing that fascinates me
What's that?
is how these songs use digital language to express universal emotions.
Oh, yeah. It's like they're creating a new vocabulary for love.
A lexicon for the digital age.
And it makes you wonder how it will evolve in the future.
Right. As technology keeps advancing.
It's like we're all part of this grand experiment.
Figuring out how to love and connect in a constantly changing world.
It's exciting and a little bit scary.
But amidst all the uncertainty, one thing remains clear.
What's that?
Our need for connection, for belonging, for love. That's never going to change.
And that's something technology can never erase.
That's a beautiful thought.
Hmm.
A reminder that at the end of the day, we're all human.
And we all crave that connection.
Wow, time flies when you're talking about love, huh?
It really does. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
Right, from those first nervous texts to like the whole question of authenticity online.
And how technology is reshaping the way we experience heartbreak.
It's a lot to process, but it's been super fascinating.
Absolutely. It's like these song lyrics have given us a glimpse into the emotional landscape of love in the digital age.
Yeah, with all its ups and downs.
The highs and lows of modern romance.
And one thing that really struck me is how much these songs emphasize the emotional intensity of it all.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It's like, even though we're connecting through screens, the feelings are still so real.
Maybe even more so.
Right. Like maybe technology amplifies things.
It's possible. Think about it. We're constantly bombarded with images and stories.
Yeah, it's like a 247 stream of love and heartbreak.
And it can be hard to escape.
So true. I mean, even the way we express love is changing.
I can hear me cry on Spotify.
Exactly. Turning a playlist into a public declaration of heartbreak.
It's so raw, so vulnerable,
Right. It's like a digital age love letter, but for the whole world to see.
and it makes you think, are we becoming more open about our emotions?
Or just more performative.
That's a tough one.
Right. Is it genuine vulnerability or just attention seeking?
Maybe it's a bit of both,
Yeah, probably. And it's not always easy to tell the difference.
especially online.
Like in Double Tap for Love, remember that one?
Yeah, where the singer falls for a carefully constructed online persona.
Exactly. It's like, how do you know someone's being real?
It's so easy to create a facade online.
Right. And it's not just about dating.
Social media plays a big role too,
We're all presenting these idealized versions of ourselves,
and it can be hard to separate the real from the fake.
which is why it's so important to be mindful.
To remember that technology is just a tool
We have the power to use it in a way that benefits us
to connect authentically, to build meaningful relationships.
and to protect ourselves from those who might take advantage.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
can't let technology control us.
We have to be the ones in charge.
And I think these songs remind us of that.
Yeah, they highlight the challenges, but they also offer hope.
Hope that even in this digital world, love can still thrive,
That we can find connection, that we can be vulnerable.
and that we can build relationships that are real and lasting.
And that's a beautiful thing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
I want to thank you for joining us.
it's been a pleasure exploring these themes with you,
And I hope this conversation has sparked some thoughts.
about how technology is shaping your own love life.
Maybe you've related to some of these songs.
Maybe you've had similar experiences.
Whatever it is, we encourage